MotoGP has seen its fair share of history in 2022, and history made once again here at the Autodromo Termas de Río Hondo this Sunday afternoon. A warm welcome to After the Flag. Myself, Louis Suddaby, and Simon Crafar will give you all the analysis and reaction from an incredible Grand Prix, a historic Grand Prix which has seen Espargaro and Aprilia finally climb to the top of the mountain in MotoGP. Espargaro's 200th start in MotoGP in his, of course, a long career in the Grand Prix paddock. He was the only rider going into today's Grand Prix never to have taken a victory in this Grand Prix paddock across any class, but that is no longer the case. Espargaro is a Grand Prix winner. Espargaro has done it for Aprilia too, of course, who put so much blood, sweat and tears into this. We'll come on to Aprilia in a second, but first of all, Aleix, you were there in Part Ferme as he embraced with his brother Paul. He spoke to his wife back home. You could see the emotion with Aleix. He's always a rider and a character that wears his heart on his sleeve. Just how happy are you for him to see him finally get that monkey off his back?
It was genuinely emotional down there, you know. I literally shed a few tears as well, like for him to see how much it meant, you know. And I also know how you carry that on your back, you know, not winning. The first one's a podium, and he got that. He did that last year. He's done it before, but never a win. But in MotoGP last year, he got that podium. And then today, I know how all events, you know, when people basically doubt you, you know, they doubt you until you prove them wrong. And then and it's fair enough, you know, we doubt something is possible until we see someone prove it, they can do it. And then now we won't doubt him anymore. And he's been carrying that around, and now it's off his back, you know, and what an amazing feeling. He's been brilliant all weekend, not just here. He's shown us his speed regularly, you know, and he showed how strong the Aprilia genuinely is. And I'm super happy for him because there's a lot of pressure out there. I know what he meant when he said there was no grip. You know, we can come back to that. But to not make a mistake, to not crash with all that pressure and to win, very cool.
Well, it was a valiant effort from Jorge Martin, who led for so much of this Argentinian Grand Prix. In the end, he had to settle for second, but he opens his account for the 2022 season. He's now speaking to Matt Birt.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lewis. I'm delighted to say, Jorge Martin, front row start, Jorge, and second place in a really hard-fought race. You did absolutely everything you possibly could to try and win here. You held off Aleix until, I think, lap 21. I guess you knew he was coming, but 20 points after a difficult start to the season must feel as good as a win for you.
Yeah, sure. I'm super happy about my performance today. I mean, all the weekend, I think, was the most consistent weekend of all my MotoGP career because I was super focused, working alone, trying to be consistent all the weekend, and actually in the race, it was almost easy, to keep the pace. It wasn't super fast because the conditions were really hard after Moto2 race. The grip was much less than all the weekend. And yeah, I knew Aleix was coming. I saw on the screen. At the beginning, I don't know what happened, but he was a bit far away. But anyway, I was just constant, trying to keep the pace, no mistakes at all. And yeah, we struggled maybe in acceleration, corner 3, 4, we are struggling, and also on the straight, top speed is not good. So we need to get into that and improve it for the next one. But on braking, I'm super competitive. He was struggling to overtake, and yeah, I tried to push at the end to force him for a mistake, but he didn't, so it's okay. Super happy we start building from this point after 2 DNFs, and yeah, I think I am super fast, motivated, and confident for the future.
We know what a great starter you are. You got a great start and you led for so long. Given though how strong Aleix has been all weekend, did you expect him to come through a little bit quicker? Were you surprised that he was behind you for so long?
No, actually, I mean, comparing a bit the paces, I mean, I was almost there. He also put a not new tire, but another tire on the warm-up, so that's why he was so competitive. I was riding with a lot of laps on the tires during all the weekend. So even the rear was a bit better mine than him, But on the front, I was struggling because I was braking super late all the race, so the front was finished. But yeah, I knew I was able to be with him all the race, and I finished so close. It's a pity, but I am happy for him because after all he worked during all these years, it's amazing to see him win.
Yeah, you guys are part of the big Andorra MotoGP club. So what have you got to say about Aleix's performance? And he's been so super strong all weekend.
Well, what I can say is that I'm super happy for him because, when I was young, he gave me a house, material to train, food at his home also. to train when I was really young, and you know, he helped me all my career so far. So yeah, I'm super happy for him, for my manager, that is the same manager of both of us. So he will have good bonus today.
Maybe you can take 10% Jorge.
Exactly.
Huge congratulations. We'll see you in 5 days' time in Austin. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. A 1-2 of sorts then for Louis Espargaro and Jorge Martin. Congratulations to Martin. In terms of his race then, difficult necessarily to take too much from his first 2 Grand Prix. Of course, he was very unlucky in the opening Grand Prix of the season in Qatar, taken out by Pecco Bagnaia. And of course, in the second Grand Prix of the season, he had a crash that any rider in that race could have had on the wet patch into turn 1 in Mandalika. So in terms of Jorge Martin's season, I don't think he would have been doubting himself or Pramac doubting themselves, but boy, did he need that result.
Yes, you're right, he did. And the thing is, though, it's only his second year. You know, he just proved so much last year that we already expected a lot of him. The guy's a superstar, isn't he? I gotta say, I love him from the point of view as a rider. You know, what he achieves on track. You know, with only a year under his belt, year and a little bit, he goes out and fights with the best guys in difficult conditions. You know, and nobody else could get the Ducati right at the front. And he did all that and didn't make a mistake. You know, he's awesome. And I think it's clear to all of us, you know, watching that he's got to be on the factory Duke, you know, very soon. And if we're all thinking that, surely they are, you know. So I don't know what else to say. He's amazing, you know.
Yeah, he was a real fighter, wasn't he, in that Grand Prix? As always, saw a number of occasions where Louis Espargaro was trying to get that move done, couldn't quite do it. But it was a good afternoon as well for the factory Suzuki team. 3rd and 4th for them. Joan Mir not quite able to get onto the podium because his teammate pipped him at the post. Alex Rins proving his great record around the Autodromo Termas de Río Hondo. 3rd place for him. He's now talking to Matt.
Alex, we know how much you love racing in Argentina. We know how much you love Termas de Río Hondo. Your first MotoGP podium, of course, was back here in 2018. You really had to work so hard, though, for that 3rd place today. Your first podium of the season. So many congratulations. You must be very happy with the weekend in general.
Thank you so much. Sincerely, I'm quite happy for this 3rd position. For sure, we need to qualify better. We need to qualify better because I lose a lot of time overtaking some riders. We did a good start, but not enough to go with Martin and Aleix. But anyway, we did a good race, very demanding race. Was missing a lot of traction. The grip level was not so high, but I think for all the riders. But anyway, we are in a good shape. Let's go now to Austin, a really nice track for us. So let's see what we are able to do.
What was the biggest problem today? I mean, Luca Marini was obviously fast at the start. Pol Espargaro was also fast. Do you think if you had have come through those guys a little bit quicker, it might have been a different story? Because you clearly had the pace of Jorge and Aleix at the front.
The problem from today was the start. Was starting on P7. This was the problem. For sure, if we were able to start on a better position, maybe I was able to go with them because the pace was not so bad. But yeah, let's see.
3rd and 4th though for you and Joan Mir today. Suzuki now leading the team championship, so it's been a very positive start for the team and for you, Alex, because you've had a really solid start to the season, a couple of strong races in Qatar and in Indonesia, and now the podium here in Argentina. You must be really confident going to a track you love in Austin as well.
Yeah, for sure. The Suzuki now is in a really good shape. Still we need to work because still we are a little bit far. But we are in the good way, you know.
I was just talking to Jorge Martin about there's a big MotoGP club in Andorra, which you're part of. Louis Espargaro's first MotoGP victory. I mean, such a special moment in a rider's career. What can you say about Louis's performance this weekend? Because he was so good.
Yeah, for sure. If you saw the podium today, was all the 3 riders living in Andorra. so this was nice. The mountains are nice to train. So yeah, talking from Aleix, from his victory, I'm so happy, so proud of him because he really deserved it with Aprilia. They found this year, also this race, the way, because also yesterday in the free practices he was super fast. So I'm so happy for him.
Great job, Alex. We'll see you in Austin in 5 days' time.
Thank you.
Justifiably happy Alex Rins then 7th in the opening Grand Prix in Qatar, 5th in Indonesia, and now 3rd and on the podium at the third round of the season in Argentina. Alex Rins, a rider who came in for a bit of criticism last season, understandably so, given the way his first half of the year went. But are we seeing a return to the Alex Rins that we know can really match it with the best in MotoGP? 3 consistent showings for him, and Suzuki looking pretty good shape too.
Yes, you've hit the nail on the head. Last year, Alex made so many mistakes, and I think he had a lot of pressure on. He wanted to do something, and he just kept making the mistakes, you know. And the year previous as well, you know. So to turn that around, I mean, we got a feeling of it in the first races. We thought, is this, the same old super fast, but now, and super, he looks amazing on the bike, doesn't he? He's a beautiful rider to watch, so smooth, flowing, corner speed, easy on the tyre. And then for him to turn up now, the first 2 races and not make any mistakes, again today in difficult conditions, like I was just listing for all of the riders out there, really difficult conditions, easy to make a mistake, and he didn't, brought it home, got it on the podium. Has he turned it around? Is he going to be a threat for the championship like we've always known he could if he stayed on the bike? Hopefully this is the year. Yeah,
no one's ever questioned Alex Rins' talent. We know how good a rider he can be in MotoGP. And of course, we're heading to a Grand Prix in just a week's time that Alex Rins has won at in MotoGP. He's the only rider, other than Marc Marquez, of course, to win at the Circuit of the Americas. So Rins will go to Argentina full of confidence. And Suzuki too, because they flattered to deceive a little bit in Qatar. We all expected them after Friday to be the bike to beat. It never quite came together, but in the end they had to settle for 6th and 7th. But no question who the man of the moment is today in Argentina. Aleix Espargaro, at the 200th time of asking MotoGP, is a Premier Class Grand Prix winner. Let's see how he's feeling as the dust settles on this Grand Prix. I'm sure the emotion is still running high. He's with Matt.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lewis. I'm so happy to be saying these words finally. Aleix Espargaro, a MotoGP winner. Aleix, huge congratulations. A massive weekend for you anyway, your 200th race in MotoGP, but your first pole position for Aprilia, now your first victory, and you lead the MotoGP World Championship. You've had a pretty good weekend, haven't you?
That's real? Yeah, I'm extremely happy, you know, very happy about this weekend in Argentina. Overall, in Qatar and Indonesia, I also felt very strong. So it's not, it's not anything happens for a reason. I felt competitive. I think we did a solid weekend. Sincerely, the race was not easy. I expect a little bit easier because this morning I was very strong, but I didn't find the grip during the race. It was very hot. After Moto2, the bike was very slippery. But I think that I did a smart race, and finally, after this long period with Aprilia, finally we achieved the victory. We are leading. This is like a dream. Feet on the ground, but I think we truly deserve this. And yeah, just trying to keep the momentum. Now we're going to America, a very difficult circuit for us, but with a lot of positive energy.
Can you put into words your emotions right now? Because I remember it was only 2 or 3 years ago where you were getting so down about the whole project. You were contemplating actually retiring. Thankfully, you did stick around, and now you're savouring this great moment. But I mean, for you and the whole team, I mean, it must just be such a special moment that you're never going to forget.
Exactly. Especially 3 years ago was, I had no energy, no energy. The tank was completely empty. I talked to my wife and I said, Laura, I can't continue. I'm not enjoying. I'm still young. Let's try to do another thing. And she helped me a lot. And also with the arrival of Massimo Rivola, everything started to change. So I still believe in the project. And finally, I think that we deserve this because we work very hard. To win a race and lead a championship doesn't matter the bike you have. It's always fantastic. But if you do with Aprilia, it's even better. So I'm very happy.
And what was it like as well? We saw those emotional scenes in Parc Fermé, talking back home to your wife and Max and Mia in Andorra. I'm sure they've all been pretty nervous watching back at home, but that must also be a super special moment. We could see you were in floods of tears. I think all of us were almost crying with that special moment. I mean, we don't see the sacrifices that you and your family make, so this victory is as much for them as well, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I'm a very passionate guy, so when I arrive home, for me, after the difficult weekend, which was almost every weekend in the last 5 years in Aprilia, it was very difficult for me to be happy, and my wife supported me a lot, and I think the arrival of the kids give me like a boost of positive energy, you know, and I'm very, very happy to achieve this victory for them, because it's also very hard for me to leave them at home. It's one of the worst thing in my life, in my job, is to be far from them. So the first thing that I did when I crossed the checkered flag was thinking in my wife and my kids. And Max, before the race, said to me, in Qatar you said that you're gonna give me a trophy, and you did not. Because before the race I said, Max, I'm strong, I think I can give you a trophy after this race. And he was angry, so I said, now I give you even a special one. So yeah, I'm very happy. Still 1 week to come back home and hug them, but hopefully I can bring 2 trophies. So focus to America now.
Aleix, you're a MotoGP winner. Aprilia are finally MotoGP winners, and you're leading the MotoGP World Championship. Huge congratulations. Such a popular victory. Enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you very much to everybody.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Louis Suddaby. I don't think anyone in this paddock will be unhappy to see him win, and he's given us a bit of an insight there into the emotional and mental journey he's been on to get to this stage, from pretty low points to the highest of highs today.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I don't know, you can't add much to it. He said it all, you know. Everything he's been through. I know what he means about family. A lot of people do. They'd have to go away to work. It's heartbreaking, literally, when the children are small. I gave up the paddock because of that, and he can't. You know, he has to go to the races, keep battling away. I guess they can't. The family come to a lot of European races, so it's not all of them. Look, it's a very special day for anyone to win a World Championship race, you know. So, you know, all I can say is hope he really enjoys it. And he's shown that he's been strong. Like he said, at the first 2 races he was strong, just didn't quite go to plan. I think they can be quite competitive all year. And if you look at it, their other rider, Maverick Vinales, just got 7th today, ahead of Fabio Quartararo. So the Aprilia are on the right track.
I was going to ask you about that, the journey that Aprilia have been on as well to get to where they are in MotoGP. Of course, they came back into this paddock in 2015, and of course, they've had a hard road back. Of course, they've gone into this race as the only concessions manufacturer. They can kiss those goodbye, of course, going forward now that they're MotoGP winners. But so much hard work has gone into putting that bike together. And you have to say, looking at MotoGP at the moment, the playing field, the pecking order is so volatile, with one manufacturer will be competitive 1 week and down the next. One of the few constants in MotoGP, you have to say, that is competitive just about anywhere, probably is that Aprilia.
Yes, and that's why I've been saying the last few races, when I get to have a chat in the commentary box, is I feel that towards the end of last year, and especially this year, other riders are looking at that machine going, I would like to ride it, you know. I'm not saying they're going to steal Aprilia's riders away. I'm just, or jobs, you know, from their riders. But the thing is, it's a fantastic thing for a manufacturer to have top riders that want to ride your machine, believe in it, you know. So I don't think they've ever had that before. It must be a good feeling.
Plenty of stories elsewhere in this Argentinian Grand Prix. The Suzukis we've touched upon, 3rd and 4th for Alex Rins and Joan Mir. Pecco Bagnaia, though, coming through to 5th. What a difference 24 hours makes for him. His season's finally up and running.
That is a champ's effort today, wasn't it? You know, after everything he went through yesterday, I think I spoke to you last night. He had the pace. He didn't have the 1-lap pace for qualifying, and he was frustrated and couldn't do it. But he had the consistency, you know, and he went out there and, again, didn't make a mistake, put it together, and got it across the line. And like Brad Binder, that was another champ's effort, you know. Didn't go all to plan this weekend, starting from a long way back like Pecco, but fights through to well up on the grid. And I got to say, those rides are the sort of thing that count at the end of the year when you're fighting for this championship.
And Brad Binder's looking every inch a MotoGP title contender at the moment. He's still 2nd in the championship. He moves ahead of Enea Bastianini, but of course, Louis Suddaby has jumped the pair of them. He finished in 6th today, just ahead of Maverick Vinales. Fabio Quartararo then the sole Yamaha in the points in 8th position. He's been speaking in our interview set. You'll be able to hear the interview in full on MotoGP.com later on today. Speaking of a complete lack of rear grip in the early stages of the race, he dropped back down to 13th at one stage in the early stages of the race. And as we've seen time and time again with Quartararo and Yamaha, once you drop back into the middle of the pack, your race is virtually finished.
Well, it started from qualifying yesterday. You know, it looked like he was going to get it near the front row, and that little clash with Jack Miller, you know, I think cost him a better position on the grid. And once he loses that position, I think the combination of the not good enough grid position, not good enough start, and at a track with low grip, the Yamaha always suffers if there's low grip. And I think all those things together, you know, he just couldn't go forward. And it's the same old thing. The bike is not fast enough to overtake on the straight. And if you haven't got the grip, you can't take the risk and try to pass someone, you know.
And Franco Morbidelli had to pull in midway through the race. A problem with the rear of his Yamaha will no doubt bring you up to speed later on. Again, keep your eyes on MotoGP.com for the full story on what happened to him. In terms of what happened further back then, Honda didn't really have an awful lot to show for their day. Of course, Pol Espargaro crashing out in the early stages. Takaki Nakagami did a solid job. He was fighting for the top 10 throughout the Grand Prix. But I guess Honda will take the positives from this Grand Prix weekend. They were in the fight for the podium until Pol Espargaro went down.
Well, I mean, Honda are used to having good results, and they didn't. It's a disaster of a weekend, really. Yes, pace-wise, they were close, you know. It almost got there. But Pol, what happened to him was so easy to happen to anyone. That's why I think it's so impressive if you don't make that mistake, you know, and manage to put it on the podium. They're not going to be happy with this weekend at all. They're missing Mark badly. Let's hope he comes back soon. One thing I've got to, before we run out of time show-wise, when I look down the list, the man I've got to give a shout-out to is Marco Bezzecchi. Unreal, you know. 9th, was it?
Yeah.
With so many good riders behind him and close to him in front, and with no experience on the bike at a track with how difficult it was today. And awesome. Marco Bezzecchi, star of the future.
Absolutely came through to 9th position in the end, just ahead of his teammate Luca Marini. Then let's very quickly then, before we wrap up, the press conference is coming up in just a moment. Look ahead to the Grand Prix of the Americas coming up next weekend. We've had 9 different riders on the podium in the first 3 races of the season. Can we even begin to predict what can happen next weekend?
No, it's just too difficult. Obviously, you've got to think that Alex Rins, because he's gone so well there before, but this championship is a nightmare to predict. You know, I don't think any of us know who to put the money on for the win in America.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We look forward to talking to you next weekend from the Circuit of the Americas. We have Ducati leading the Constructors' Championship. We have Suzuki leading the Teams' Championship, and Aprilia rider leads the Riders' Championship with 5 different factories in the top 5. It could not be closer or more competitive in MotoGP as we get ready for round 4 from the Circuit of the Americas. If you're watching live, stick around. The press conference is coming up next, but from myself and Simon Crafar, we thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to talking to you from Austin, Texas next weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
And Louis Suddaby, not a great launch off the line from that pole position. Jorge Martin got a superb start on the Pramac Ducati. Likewise, Pol Espargaro, he moves up into 2nd place, but Martin, he's got the whole shot. Martin leads.
On the inside of turn 1, Louis Suddaby looking to get at the inside now of Luca Marini. Pol Espargaro wide there. Rins now trying to get up the inside now as they go around turn 8. He's clear ahead of Pol Espargaro. Rins into 3rd.
Pol Espargaro, sector 1, turn 2. The Repsol Honda man has crashed out of this Grand Prix.
Is this now the moment?
Again, here comes Louis Suddaby. Now he's just trying to do the block pass, isn't he here? The block pass on the inside. He has finally got into the front. History beckons here for him and the factory Aprilia team. And Louis Suddaby and Aprilia celebrate their first ever win in MotoGP. It's pure delirium for Aprilia.
Argentina de MotoGP.